The Honourable Adam Searle.
Mr Deputy President, on two previous occasions in this place, on the 17th of March this year and again on the 21st of March this year, I've raised the issue of the essential energy industrial dispute. I do so again tonight as we find ourselves in the midst of a dispute that looks like it is fast getting out of control. The circumstances are fast approaching what I think is a point of crisis. Workers at the New South Wales government-owned electricity distributor Essential Energy are today engaging in protected industrial actions for 24 hours from 6 a.m. this morning after the company refused to allow the independent industrial umpire, the Fair Work Commission, to resolve a long-running dispute over wages, conditions and job cuts. I understand that employees from more than 100 workplaces and depots across the state are taking part in the action from 6 a.m. today and will return to work from 6 a.m. Tomorrow, that is Thursday. Mr Deputy President, negotiations for a new workplace agreement began some 18 months ago and the existing industrial agreement expired in June of last year, and negotiations have been ongoing since that time, but without success. Now the company has also rejected a request to have the Fair Work Commission to decide the outstanding matters between the parties to break the impasse that has been reached in negotiations. It should be remembered that as a backdrop to this, Essential Energy has, on the 7th of March this year, launched legal action that seeks to cancel the existing safety net for the workforce, the existing enterprise agreement. The effect of the action, if it was successful, would be to cut the wages and conditions of up to 4,000 employees by up to 40%. And that is because, over time, successive industrial agreements have achieved higher wages and conditions than the basic award. And despite the efforts of the workforce and its unions to negotiate with management, that seems to have reached the end of the road, and now we have this industrial action being taken place. And I believe it's the second time industrial action has occurred in this context, occurring also, I believe, on the 20th of April this year. Now, I'm not going to get into the rights and wrongs of either side's bargaining positions or the matters that are in dispute, of which, as I indicated, I think there are 6 matters. But what is quite clear is that the parties themselves appear to not be able to resolve the matter. I understand the union wrote to the company suggesting that the last 6 matters be dealt with by way of consent arbitration by Fair Work, and that the company has not only rejected this suggestion, but has stated that its preferred option, the preferred option of Essential Energy, is to proceed to cancel the existing enterprise agreement. Now, Essential has already cut more than 500 jobs since June 2015 and has flagged that it wishes to cut a further 800 jobs by June of 2018. If the Essential Energy is successful in cancelling the agreement, up to 800 regional jobs would be slashed overnight. Wages and conditions for staff would be cut by up to 40%, and consumers across rural and regional New South Wales would be left with lower service standards. Now, before the last election, Liberal and National Party MPs said there would be no cut to jobs or services, but for the last year they have remained silent, as Essential Energy has done the exact opposite. Now, if Essential Energy is not able to reach an agreement with its workforce and their unions, and if they're not willing to participate in arbitration as a solution to the impasse, it's likely that this dispute will continue to escalate with even longer strikes on the cards. And as I indicated, this is already the second round of industrial action, and that is in nobody's interest, Mr Deputy President. It's in nobody's interest to have a dispute that the parties can't resolve, lurching from crisis to crisis. The Baird Grant government must ensure that management at the state-owned Essential Energy sits down and negotiates with its workforce in good faith to ensure that regional communities, including workers, are not adversely impacted by a drawn-out dispute over a new workplace deal. Communities in regional New South Wales are at risk of disrupted services should the dispute be allowed to continue. Twice in this place we have called on the government to step in, and if the management did not agree, to force management to enter into good faith negotiations. Now the situation has taken a turn for the worse. The government needs to take action to make sure that if the parties cannot develop a solution themselves, arbitration is the solution, where an impartial third party resolves the outstanding 6 matters. This kind of brutal approach to industrial relations should not be allowed to continue the way Essential was conducting this dispute. Such an approach of taking away people's hard-won wages and conditions should have no place in modern New South Wales or Australia. Thank you, Mr. President.